Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 18, Chapter 2, A Short-Lived Everyday Life, Part 8. If you haven't watched the previous video or chapter, you can find the link in the description below. Before we begin, this video contains light novel spoilers. If you do not want to be spoiled, do not watch it. And, if you will continue, an additional disclaimer notice. So without further ado, let's get to the video. So, I was done with everything I needed to do in the Kingdom of Farmanas. Yum and I talked about it, and we both agreed that Ser and Grigori could come to our country and be trained there. For now, I decided to let Ser and Grigori get used to the labyrinth on their own. Benimaru knew what the training plan was, and when the time was right, he would be sent to his own place. Am I going to have to take care of them again? I'm depending on you. Since Hikaru's decision came out of the blue, there might be some confusion, right? Yes, that's right. However, since we are all in the same predicament, I believe you are being overly protective. You might be right, but they are staying with us. If they had moved to our country, I would not have let them be too unreasonable. More importantly, though, let's talk about training. So, how are Karion and the others doing? Things over there are getting more interesting. Seal-san revealed the details after Benimaru mentioned that. Name: Karion. Existence point: 2,773,537. Race: Divine Beast, Greater Chaos Spirit, Light Spirit Beast. Name: Frey. Existence point: 1,948,734. Race: Divine Bird, Greater Chaos Spirit, Sky Spirit Bird. As they developed, Karion and Frey-san developed a divine nature. Now, let's use this information to figure out how strong they are. How is Karion doing now? Yes, the first opponent I defeated out of revenge was Karion Dono. You know, I once led a group to Eurazania. I had no chance against him. Because of this, I wish to test my current level of strength against Karion Dono, who had awakened. I was confused about why Benimaru was testing his own strength, but when I thought about it, I didn't see what was wrong with it. Benimaru took things seriously, and Karion did his best. Since no one dies in the labyrinth, this seemed like a very interesting combination. Ramirez and the others probably taped it, so I'll watch it later. So, I decided to start by asking about the result. Who won? I won, but just barely. Oh, that's great. I realized that I had never doubted that Benimaru would win, and I was upset to hear that it was close. But it was a very close call. What happened? I did ask him, though. Before Benimaru could say anything, a picture popped into my head. It looks like Karion was the first to act. As expected from Seal-san. It looks like she knew right away what to do. And, as Seal-san said, Karion was the first one to move in the video. Karion's whole body turned into light at the exact moment he raised his weapon and sank in a smooth motion. Benimaru was attacked by a real particle, not a metaphor. Karion gave it the name, Burst Roar. It is an illusionary diffusion-focused particle cannon that has the ability to turn the user's own body into willful particles that can pierce the opponent. Then it has a will. It denotes that Karion had also experienced spiritual enlightenment and developed the traits of a spiritual life form. Also, it made sense that the light that had been following Benimaru swallowed him up. As soon as the game started, I got chills, or more accurately, I knew it was going to be dangerous. So, I decided it wasn't the right time to wait and see, and I activated my Heat Haze. Benimaru's Heat Haze is a power that can be thought of as Formhide's ultimate secret. It keeps you from being hit by any attack, so it will only work if you also have the ultimate skill. But Benimaru would have lost in the first move if that wasn't activated. Benimaru did a great job of avoiding the attack, but if he had been found there was nothing he could have done. Because of his ultimate skill, Heat King Amaterasu, he was able to handle this. Your sense of judgment and your ultimate skill made the difference between winning and losing. Yes, it was a close one. It served as a good reminder for me because I was feeling so confident in myself that I believed I could win more easily. You're right, I didn't think you wouldn't win, so I didn't know how I felt about it. After all, being careless and being too proud can lead to losing. I'm glad you realized this before the showdown because it's hard to know. Yes, even if I'm aware of it, I might be proud of it anyway. It's called carelessness because of this, but it can be scary. Exactly. We were glad that Karion pointed out how unaware we were. I reflected with Benimaru and then sat back with a cup of Shuna's freshly brewed café au lait and listened to the rest. Did you battle Frey-san? No, I don't think Frey Dono realized she couldn't win after seeing us fighting. She seems like the kind of person who hates wasting time. Oh, I see, so that's how things are. After that, they had to try to get through the labyrinth and see how far they could go. That's probably the quickest way to test your strength. Yes, each one of them started at level 51 on their own. As Benimaru talked, images started coming to my mind. Gadra wasn't there, so the 60th level was easy to finish. Though at this rate, he would have lost even if he had stayed. That's how strong Karion's momentum was. As a test of his prowess, he also engaged in combat with Adelman and the others, who had just returned to adjust the magic transfer circle. He used Burst Roar a lot, so Adelman and the others didn't have time to take action. Wenti was the shield, Albert was the ranger, and Adelman was the attacker. When Wenti was first defeated, the whole thing fell apart. Karion then went after Adelman, who was making trouble, and left Albert behind. His fighting style reminded me of a lion on the hunt. Most of the hunting is done by female lions. I already knew that. The way Seal-san explains things is very helpful, but sometimes it makes me feel stupid. It's always been like that, even when the great sage was alive, right? I'll be careful. So, let's get back to the point. The burst roar of Karion was very powerful. The light attribute was shared by both Adelman and Karion. There was nothing different about them, so it came down to who was stronger. In this case, it was interesting to see that Adelman has an ultimate gift. Karion doesn't seem to have an ultimate skill, and it doesn't look like he has any mythical level gear. Then how did he beat Adelman? I think Seal-san said that the only way to beat the ultimate level is with another ultimate power. I don't remember. Is that right? Though I'm not certain, I think I've been misled. Karion also has the traits of a spiritual life form, so his willpower must have been strong enough to compete with the ultimate power. In other words, Karion is more capable of initiating an attack than the multi-layer barrier, strengthened by Adelman's Necronomicon. Kumara was the next person Karion Dono had to fight. I gave Kumara the go-ahead because she wanted to start the fight. Well, Zijin is stronger than Kumara, so maybe we should change where the guardians are on the labyrinth floors. Right. It turned out to be a pretty good match. A video was shown again. Kumara hadn't shown her tailed beasts yet, so she was going all out right away. She knew that Adelman and the others had been defeated, but it looked like she was going into battle without paying attention to the details. Knowing what the enemy is doing is very different from not knowing. Still, she was brave enough to fight the enemy on equal terms. Karion's existence value was higher. But Kumara had the ultimate gift, which was the king of the beasts, Bahamut. Again, Karion used a burst roar as his first move. This time, it turned into a bunch of flashes of light coming from all directions at Kumara. On the other hand, Kumara flew up into the air and used gravity domination. Because of this, the supergravity bent the light, and Karion's attack only hurt Kumara's leg. Kumara didn't plan to get away this way, she just got lucky. So, she didn't try to fight back, but instead focused on getting better. Kumara's magicules can bring the tailed beasts back to life, so it would be hard for an opponent of the same level to stop Kumara. And Karion, whose first attack failed, had appeared. Even though the particle state seemed unbeatable, it could only last for a certain amount of time. And it doesn't look like it can be fired more than once. Karion didn't go after Kumara. Instead, he stayed back and planned a white tiger blue dragon strike. From above, Kumara looked down at Karion. Karion looked at her and thought about what he should do next. When they looked at each other, a tremor went through the air. Kumara attacked Karion from above with a move called Nine-Tailed Piercing Strike. Karion then used all of his magic power to focus on the white tiger blue dragon strike, and let out a burst roar. Kumara was the one who won the fight. The particle cannon stopped working, and Karion's white tiger blue dragon strike shattered. I am going to win. Kumara was happy that she had won and tried to kill Karion for good. But that didn't happen. How foolish. At this point, Kumara's heart had already been broken when Karion finally spoke. Karion's weapon was broken up, but not completely destroyed. Karion's will controlled the shards, which turned into tiny pieces that pierced Kumara from behind. The game was over. Karion wasn't so stupid as to let down his guard here. He used a burst roar to end the game quickly against Kumara, who had stopped moving. Karion Dono won, and so. Looks like it. Kumara has gotten so strong that it's hard to believe she lost so easily. Well, that's how fights work. This wasn't the real thing, thank goodness. You're right. Really, I think Kumara learned a lot from it. It was very rude to think that I could take care of Karion Dono. He taught me a lot, and there were many things to teach. Yes, well, some people say that teaching other people is like getting a chance to see what you don't have. Karion appeared to be developing a more advanced fighting style. If Kumara had fought him before Adelman, the odds might have been different. That showed how much Karion had grown. Well, it looks like Zijin was also in danger. I couldn't imagine Zijin losing, but now I'm thinking, oh, that was impossible. When they faced each other, Karion Dono was the first to set up, the scenario came to pass. Before Karion could become a particle, Karion's body was sliced into pieces as soon as Zijin smiled at him as if he were an illusion. An instant kill. What exactly is Zijin? It's almost a miracle that I was able to beat him, to be honest. I don't think I could win if I tried now. He might have been trying to be humble, but if Benimaru, who hated to lose, said the same thing, then Zijin really was special. Zijin's defeat here would have necessitated an extensive analysis of our defense strategy. Zijin doesn't seem to be very prideful. We've confirmed our own lack of awareness, but it doesn't seem necessary for Zijin. Agreed. He is incredibly stoic. Even though it was his most complete victory, he didn't seem happy at all, saying, "This isn't even close to Rimuru-sama." Zijin may have been aiming for an imagined version of me because I felt so far away.